That's right.
How can a news organization deny me the right to reply to an editorial that denigrates me, but yet I have a right to run a television ad that says the New York Times is wrong?
At today's Senate Judiciary Committee hearing, sparks flew when John Kennedy pressed judicial nominee Stephen Chad Meredith with a provocative hypothetical that immediately grabbed the room's attention. In a line of questioning that quickly turned tense, Senator Kennedy asked Meredith how he would respond if someone publicly insulted him with a defamatory slur, and whether using paid advertising to refute it would raise ethical concerns. The exchange wasn't just about the words used, it was about judicial temperament, free speech boundaries, and the limits of public response for someone seeking a lifetime appointment to the federal bench. Meredith, nominated to serve as a United States District Judge for the Eastern District of Kentucky, was forced to navigate the fine line between defending one's reputation and upholding the impartiality expected of a federal judge. Kennedy, known for his sharp and often theatrical questioning style, zeroed in on how a judge should conduct themselves under public attack. Was it a fair hypothetical or a political trap? And what does this exchange reveal about the standards expected of federal judicial nominees? Stay tuned as we break down the full confrontation, the legal implications behind the question, and what it could mean for Meredith's confirmation. Have your say in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
May I have permission to enter into the record 2 articles from Louisville papers, one in the Courier-Journal and one from the Louisville News?
Without objection.
Thank you.
Mr. Meredith, you worked for Governor Bevin?
Yes, Senator.
You were his lawyer?
I was one of the lawyers in the office, Senator.
Okay. Governor Bevin issued some controversial pardons, is that right?
He did, Senator.
The FBI investigated those pardons, did it not?
Yes, Senator, that's right.
Did the FBI file charges against Governor Bevin?
My understanding is they did not, Senator.
Okay. Did you advise Governor Bevin on any of those controversial pardons?
The only controversial pardon that that I advised him on was one for Mr. Irvin Edge, and I recommended that Mr. Edge not be pardoned.
And was he pardoned?
My understanding from reading news articles is that he was pardoned.
Okay, so the governor didn't take your advice?
Apparently not, Senator.
Okay. But you didn't have anything to do with any of the other controversial pardons?
No, Senator.
Okay. If the New York Times, Mr. Meredith, published an editorial, let's suppose it said, Senator Kennedy is a bad senator. We don't like him. We think he's an ignorant slut. And I called the New York Times, and I said, okay, I want to write a letter to the editor replying. Can the New York Times tell me no?
I believe that they could tell you no, Senator.
Well, what if I said, if they told me no, I said, okay, I want to buy a full-page ad that says John Kennedy's a good senator. He is not an ignorant slut. And they said no. Can they do that?
I think the First Amendment would allow them to exercise editorial discretion and control over the types of ads they want to sell.
You think it's purely a First Amendment case?
There could be. I mean, I think there are potentially other laws that could govern how they make their decisions to sell ads. But I think if they're making a decision about whether you can buy an ad that says Senator Kennedy's a good senator, I think they've I think the First Amendment would allow them to exercise.
Suppose I'm running for re-election after this editorial, and I go to my local television station and I say I want to run a political ad, and they say no. The New York Times says you're an ignorant slut. We're not going to run your ad. Can they do that?
I think that's governed. that's governed by different laws pertaining to the airwaves, which
Well,
are
there's
governed by
only
federal
one
statutes.
Constitution.
That's right.
How can a news organization deny me the right to reply to an editorial that denigrates me, but yet I have a right to run a television ad that says the New York Times is wrong?
I think as in order to have permission to use the airwaves, I think federal law requires TV stations to give equal time or equal opportunity to buy
Why
ads.
is that constitutional?
Well, it's constitutional because my understanding, at least, is that the federal government controls the airwaves. Essentially, are federal property that the federal government can regulate and authorize the use of.
Yeah, but the federal government has to abide by the First Amendment, doesn't it?
It does,
I don't know.
Senator.
Explain to me how the New York Times can say no to me wanting a right of reply, but a TV station can't prohibit me from replying.
Senator, my understanding of the law is that the airwaves would be a public resource that the federal government regulates.
You think they're a common carrier?
I don't know the law on this specifically, Senator. I don't know that the common carrier analysis would apply there. Perhaps it would. I don't know.
Well, suppose I
Have your say in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Watch out for part 2.